Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. So today is the 5th of July as I record this, and we're going to do a special video today linking into the energy of Michael Jackson and also talking about the situation with Britney Spears. I wanted to put both of them onto the same video for some reasons that will become very apparent. There seems to be a lot of similarities between the two. And yesterday when I was tuning in to wanting to do a video on the subject of Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, who's somebody that I have channeled, I don't know, I think 7 times now, very quickly his energy came in, and I'll show you. I've just pulled a couple of tarot cards as well. But it's still, the energy's still here. So we've got the Queen of Cups, which would be Britney. And we've got Michael riding into the rescue, Knight of Wands. And it's quite interesting that he's showing us a knight, not a king here, because there's something in Michael's energy whereby he always looked up to women. And he definitely looked up to her as well. So anyway, that's just, I'm going to put the cards back into the deck, but I was just shuffling and they just reconfirmed what I was feeling yesterday, which is that he was wanting to rush into her defence. Now, I realise that some people will be new to my channel and my work and might not have seen any of my other channelings that I've done, linked into a group of people called the Heart Squad, which includes Michael Jackson and a number of other stars that you will all probably know and love. I'll put the playlist below. But the work's been going on for a couple of years, and looking back on it, I didn't realise when I started it, it was started off by the energy of Princess Diana, who's also somebody that I channel, who sort of heads up the squad, as I call it. But I realise now, looking back on it, that all of the people that I've channelled have very much been about trying to bring light into the darkness in some respect. Yes, many of them were amazing musicians, but equally they were all fighting for something. And some of what they fought for is now becoming very apparent in our world, and we're on a precipice whereby there is a breakthrough possible in terms of a lot of the darkness that has surrounded, for example, the entertainment industry, really being brought to light. The Britney Spears case really highlights that. And I feel as though Michael is one of the Heart Squad members that is really rushing in to help her and support her, because so many of them went through not exactly the same battle that she's having now with regard to conservatorship, but certainly control issues linked into their creativity and their lives. Certainly, if we look at creativity and battles with record companies, we can bring in the energy of Prince, we can bring in the energy of George Michael, we can definitely bring in the energy of Michael Jackson, who took on Sony. You know, it goes on and on. So that's why, as I say, we've got these two together, Michael and Britney. Britney's very much been in the news over the last week in particular because she's been fighting what's called a conservatorship that's been on her since 2008. And many people are now sort of waking up to what she's been living through since 2008, where effectively her affairs got controlled by others. She has no say over what happens to her money, what she does with her life. And as came out in a very powerful testimony that she gave and has been leaked, and I will put the link again below to that because it's powerful stuff, not even control over her own body in terms of whether she can have a child or not. So, you know, this video is not about what her mental state may or may not be. The truth is that I actually felt that I will just say on the record though, I felt that listening to the testimony that she gave, she came off as sane, frustrated, angry, which I would be if I'd had that many years of my life taken away from me and somebody else trying to control me. And her speech is quite rushed, but it's as though her voice has been denied. Interestingly, a woman who's made her fortune via her voice, in terms of actually what she truly wishes to say, has been thwarted for over a decade. So this opportunity to actually say her piece, which she did, I thought, very eloquently, and very passionately and very honestly, has been a long time coming. And it's like just this gush of words that comes out, because it's like a fountain that once it's opened, just wants to keep on going. And I do feel as though she will carry on and be a very vocal opponent of those that seek to thwart and dominate. Now, why my interest has been piqued in this particular case is I have a guide that I work with. I have a number of guides that I work with, but one of the main ones is Archangel Metatron, and his energy is all about trying to expose and bring to light wrongdoings in the world, to bring equality and balance and harmony back. And the Britney Spears case, which mirrors some of what Michael went through as well, even though it wasn't called conservatorship, it was certainly called control, is bringing through a very powerful portal of healing. And it links into, what I was basically shown was Britney and her father. I was shown from a past life perspective, whereby in past lives, many of us were owned by another. We were the property, and particularly women, we were the property of a man. And, the days of chastity belts and, keys and being unlocked by somebody that owned you to then be able to take advantage of you sexually, but in other ways as well, very much being a chattel, being somebody's property, are not that far in the past. And indeed, it's still going on. And it brings in the whole energy, of course, of slavery, which is a huge topic. So we can't look at every single ramification of slavery in our world. There will be other voices that come to talk on that. But in terms of slavery, in terms of, for example, here, the entertainment industry, I feel as though what Britney's doing is wanting to bring a wrecking ball into it. And yes, I note the nod to Miley Cyrus there. To bring change, and she will bring change. So I would like to help support that energy. And I know, having done this work for a long time now, that thank you for watching these videos, because when you watch them, you actually add your energy to a portal that we're opening up now. And I just ask Archangel Metatron to open it up now, please, to break the chains of anybody that is tied into any past life vows, linked into ownership, somebody else owning you. And the thing is that those of us that took similar vows to that, and they could have been vows of obedience, vows of chastity, vows of poverty, vows of celibacy, can't remember what all the other ones are, but the whole point about it is that often the one that was our master in a previous life, they come back around karmically if we've got something to still clear, heal, or smash through. And Britney is just this huge example of that. So when she ultimately becomes free, and we will look at that, I'm going to pull some cards on the outcome for her. But I think it's close. It's going to set off a chain of events that help to unlock other people from an energetic torment I'm hearing that they've been in, whether conscious or unconscious, which has kept them shackled to the past, which is about control. Now, a very interesting thing happened in my home yesterday, and those of you that watch my Heart Squad videos know that often things happen around my home, particularly when I bring in a new energy. Now, Britney is, of course, alive and well. She's not dead. And I must just say this point, because sometimes when I talk about channeling people that are alive, people get confused, because it's like, well, I thought you only can channel people that have passed over. A channeler is somebody that is able to tune in to energy and either side of the veil, okay? So those that have passed, as in the case of Michael Jackson, and yes, he has passed over. I still have to say that for some people who think he's still alive. No, he's not. He has passed over. Able to tune into people like that are the other side of the veil. But equally, I'm able to tune into the energy of people this side of the veil. And with Britney, I have to say at the outset that her walls are sky high in terms of protecting herself, and I don't blame her at all. So we will see what I'm able to get with her permission, and only with her permission, her higher self's permission to do that. But yeah, so this is what I want to do. I want to just bring through some energy linked into channeling. The thing that happened yesterday, which was powerful in my home, was I have a daughter whose birthday is actually this week. She's 15 this week. Now, the interesting thing is that Britney Spears was 15 when she, I've just written this down here, she was 15 when she was signed to Jive Records. It was the start of, I guess it was the start of the path. She had done other work before that in terms of performance arts and drama and dance training, but getting on board with the big train, which is the music industry, happened at the age of 15. You could say that at that moment there was I'm hearing there was a relocking in, even though it didn't manifest until years later, of I'm hearing the chain of command. So although she felt she was in control, well, she probably didn't at age 15, but you know, you like to think you're in control when you're given a contract or you're given an opportunity. She was actually unintentionally giving her power back to some of the people that in previous lives had also been her jailer, is what I'm hearing. And it led to a point in 2008 where the whole conservatorship came in, and I'm being shown it's literally like being put into jail with the lock coming on the door and being double-barreled lock. Why I'm mentioning my daughter being 15 this week is that yesterday I was just talking to her about her birthday. We were talking about something private, which I won't talk about here. But she was wearing a choker around her neck, a diamante choker. And as I was talking to her, I just noticed that the choker broke. I've got it here. Okay, the choker broke. And she was a bit disappointed because it's one of her favourite chokers. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I realise now how deeply symbolic it is in terms of the fact it broke, i.e. it was released, the chains were released. Because this photograph that I've chosen to display in this video of Michael and Britney together, she's actually wearing like a similar diamante choker to the one that broke on my daughter yesterday. So I feel as though what happened yesterday with the breaking of this was deeply symbolic. This was linked into breaking the chains of what has confined Britney, okay? And it had to happen on a child of a similar age, i.e. mine, to the one that Britney was when she first became, I'm wanting to use the word enslaved. So this is hugely symbolic that this broke yesterday, and it's a very, very positive sign. So I'm hearing, because I'm hearing, again, this might trigger some people because I don't want to get too much into the whole karmic thing, but I'm hearing karmically as well, the debts were paid, okay? Now, just because debts are paid doesn't mean necessarily that you instantly see transformation and change coming in. It just means that debts are paid. It doesn't even mean that it's necessarily linked into Britney and her dad. It might be linked into other people in this whole situation, because it's not just about the father, it's about a whole support system, which actually was anything but support, is what I'm hearing, okay? So let's put this chain back on my little altar that I've got here, and that is going to be spritzed rather with a bit of freedom energy, okay? So I just couldn't believe that when that happened. I was really blown away by that. Right, anything else to say about this before I move on? So yeah, what we're basically healing or attempting to heal in this video, and yes, I'm going to pull some cards for Britney. Yes, I'm going to bring Michael through as well and see what he wants to say. But essentially, the work which we're being asked to do here, because this isn't just entertainment, guys. This is work. This is healing work that we do on my channel. Every video is about healing work. Is to do with releasing the templates and the vows, which somewhere down the line are about I own you. We are moving into times when nobody owns anybody else. You know, we are moving into times of self-empowerment. Self-empowerment is when we are free, we are sovereign to think for ourselves, to be our own people. Okay, so let's just have a moment before I move into cards and channeling, where I just would like you to tune into yourself, and I'd like to just ask Archangel Metatron, and it's particularly Archangel Metatron. It's also got Archangel Michael coming in here, and Archangel Uriel, the big three as I call them, and let's just ask them to release any unconscious or conscious chains that you are holding within you, linked into any vows that you have taken in previous lifetimes or this one that no longer serve you. And let us please ask for those to be released. Please let us also realise that in this video that we are asking for chains to be released around the collective as well. And I printed off this photo of from Michael's They Don't Care About Us video, where he's in chains. Okay, so it's Michael and he's breaking the chains. And if you don't know the song by Michael Jackson, They Don't Care About Us, it's a powerful anthem to, again, the people standing up for change, so that everybody matters, every being worthy of a good life. You know, they don't care about us. It's about you know, the elite that turn a blind eye to the man on the street in need. So I'm also going to put this picture around this area, which is our little altar, and Michael's energy can help that as well. I also will say another thing that I noticed yesterday, when it became apparent to me that this is what all this work is about in terms of releasing these chains. I pulled 3 cards from my own Archangel Metatron Oracle deck, just to try and get a feel for what this is, why I was being asked to do this work, and I got these 3. The first card is the card of codependency, and again we've got the chains. We've got 2 trees. The trees represent a person and another, or it could be one person against a system, as is the case, for example, with Britney and many other musicians or artists in the entertainment industry, and they are chained, they are shackled to whatever you would want to call this. But the thing with codependency, and this is where it can be a little bit, we have to own this, is, I mean, we're also asked to let go of these patterns of codependency, is that for Britney to be truly free, there also needs to be this energy coming in whereby she appreciates what the relationship gave her as well. And that's to do with, for example, fame, money. I mean, it's a difficult one because she was only 15 when she got into it. So it's like, was she fully conscious or not? I don't want to get into all of that. Please remember that this video is about breaking templates and patterns in the collective, okay? So the pattern is linked into codependency, okay? That you, to be fully sovereign, to be fully free, you need to be able to stand on your own. You don't cling on to anybody or anything. And actually, if we look at some other members of the Heart Squad, and in particular I'm thinking about the likes of George Michael and Prince and Michael Jackson, it's the ones I've mentioned already, there may well be other ones, but what they did was they all bucked against the system, the contract, which was keeping them tied in, which at some level of being, at one point in time would have worked for them, because you don't sign on the dotted line a contract or sign up to be famous without thinking you're going to get something back. Okay, we have to be honest here. You get something back. You get fame, you get adulation, you get money, you get recognition, you get your work being out there, played on the radio, you know, invited onto TV shows, people wanting to work with you. So there is that side of it, which is the let's just call them the other, gives them that. But in return, they then get sucked in and it becomes very toxic and they have to claw their way out of it. Prince was, and you remember he had the slave, didn't he? He had slave sort of put onto his cheek, very powerful image there. So after these two cards as well, we get the card of evolution. So this is basically saying that all of this energy, okay, yes, we're highlighting Britney here because she's still alive. She is a living, breathing example of this template. But so many other members of the Heart Squad, they all basically, they were all basically tied into the same template, and they're wanting to help birth this new energy for New Earth, and that's why they're all really racing behind Britney to help her and support her, because they went through it when they were alive. And into that I would absolutely bring the energy of Princess Diana as well, you know, who was linked into a system, the monarchy, you know, the royal family. At some level of being, at one stage there would have been some codependency there in her relationship with Charles, but yet then she broke free from it. It's the same thing, it's the same pattern, it's just repeated over and over again. Okay, I would also put into this bracket Elvis Presley as well. I've also channeled Elvis. Again, Elvis was one of the earlier ones who walked this path, who got himself in too deep with regard to the manager who controlled him. And, you know, sadly, you know, it didn't have a particularly happy ending, that one. A lot of them didn't have particularly happy endings. And I will just say here, for those of you that have not watched my Heart Squad work, but you can go back and rewatch it. As I say, I'll put the link up. I believe a lot of them were taken out by the establishment, because when you stand up again, when you try and break free from this, then there is a high price to pay. Okay, so into that group, certainly I would bring Michael, and you know, that's why they don't want the same fate to happen to Britney, because when she breaks free, which I believe she will need your prayers of protection and strength and support. And that's not putting anything negative out there. Anybody that really understands what I'm truly saying here in this video about the entertainment industry, and let's keep the vibe as high as possible, which is why I don't want to go into the real grubby aspects of it. When you really understand, and a lot of you do, I know, you know how dangerous it is for an artist when they break free. I think I'm right in saying that when Michael broke free of Sony, that's when the first sort of allegations started coming out with regards to his behaviour, which were, of course, untrue. They were made up, but they will bring you down. One way or another, they will bring you down. And a very common way as well is that, you know, the artist suddenly suicides themselves. No, they don't. They're taken out. So again, please, let's just do it now whilst I'm talking about it, whilst I remember to do it. Let's take this energy into the future. Let's see Britney free, but let's also now bring a circle of spiritual protection around her to guard her. And I'm actually seeing two great big lions either side of her. That do protect her. I'm actually being told she wouldn't have survived this far if she hadn't had extraordinary spiritual protection around her. But she is, you know, she is a human being, and she is fallible, so she does still need protection. Let me just pull one card on Britney from this deck. I'm just feeling I want to do that at this point. And then I want to talk a little bit about the similarities between Michael and Britney and why I feel he's particularly coming to her side. And then we'll pull some cards. So Britney Spears, let's just pull one card for Britney Spears, please, at this point. Metatron, what is it that you wish to say? One card, please, for Britney. One card. That's two. One card. I don't even know what they were. One card for Britney. Two cards again, okay. Okay, that leads rather nicely on to what I want to talk about next, which is love. Is that card number 6? Yes, it's card number 6. And this is the Holy Grail. You see, both Michael Jackson and Britney Spears work out numerologically to be a life path number 6. Number 6 is this card. It's the energy of the open heart. It's also got the rose on it. The rose is a very fragile, beautiful thing. And both of them, Michael was born 29th of August 1958. He works out numerologically as a 29-42-6. He's a number 6. Britney, born 2nd of December 1981. She works out as a 2-24-6 numerologically. They're both 6s. 6 links into the planet Venus. What is the planet Venus about? The planet Venus is about love and relationships. They both came here in different ways to bring in the energy of love, and were promised the Holy Grail in terms of being able to deliver that. There was a high price for that. But as I say, with Britney, I believe that she's got protection around her. And interestingly, I say that because on the bottom of the deck, I then pick up this card, which is the card of family. She's got a lot of soul family. She's got a lot of people in spirit that are actually willing her on and trying to help her. Not just Heart Squad, but obviously other soul family as well. Michael and her are soul family though, and over and above this connection to number 6 and Venus, which is also the energy of the pink ray, it's to do with love, it's to do with innocence, it's to do with joy, and again, you see straight away as I say innocence, I'm shown the first video that she did, Baby Hit Me One More Time, was it? The one where she's dressed up as a schoolgirl. You see, that's what the music industry did to her. She had, and she still has, this very innocent, pure energy, same as Michael. And so what do? They dress her up as a schoolgirl and sexualise that. It's disgusting. I'm sorry, but it is. If you look back on it now, with hindsight, you can see what they were doing. It was like, let's take this beautiful, fragrant rose and let's dress her up as a sexy schoolgirl for grown men to ogle over. I was watching I haven't had a lot of time to really look at Britney, and I haven't ever followed her very much at all. I just know her main hits that she's done. But because I knew I was going to do this video, I wanted to hear her speaking voice. So after watching the conservatorship testimony that she gave, I watched one video, and my God, it was so cringe. It was cringing. There's a man in his, I don't know, I'm not very good with ages, late 40s, maybe 50, probably 50s actually. And he's interviewing her. She's very young at the time. She looks about 17, something like that. And it gets towards the end of the interview, and he says to her, there's one thing we haven't talked about, Britney. And she's like, oh, what's that? Literally like a little startled rabbit, very innocent, very pure. He says, we haven't talked about your breasts. It's sick. It's yes, come on. I know the way of the world. I know sex sells, all of that. But you've got this old guy, who's old enough to be her father, ogling her. It's what happens. We know it's what happens. Why I'm talking about it in this relation is the fact that the likes of Michael and the likes of Britney, in terms of their soul heritage, they come from a place that is very, very pure. It's very innocent. It's very childlike. Michael is all about, he wanted to play with kids. He never grew up, basically. He was like Peter Pan. I've talked about this in all of the videos that I've done with him previously. I'm not going to go over old ground, but it's the same thing. He genuinely wanted to play on those amusement slides, and all the rides that he had at Neverland. He wanted the water fights and all of that, the water fights that they used to do. That was him. It wasn't an act. It wasn't an act. It's what he instinctively was within himself. It's the same thing that she has. And I'll tell you the other thing I noticed. This was only in the last 24 hours I've noticed it. I was watching her being interviewed, and I was like mesmerised by her eyes. And I was like, my God, she's got the same eyes as Michael Jackson. They've got the same eyes. Her and Michael's eyes are so similar. I mean, there's this picture here of them both, but it's not a particularly good one in terms of being able to see their eyes because she's obviously got this cap on. But I mean, to give an example, hold on one moment. I just got, someone's ringing me. Hold on. Sorry, I needed to get that phone call. So I was talking about their eyes, wasn't I? I will just show you, because to me it's just so obvious. So, eyes. I mean, it's not just the fact they've got the same brown eyes. Their eyes are really, really similar. Sorry, a bit of glare there. Really similar. Look it up yourself. It's more noticeable when they're being interviewed because, you know, obviously she's got makeup on and everything. But I was like, oh my God. The reason about the eyes is that eyes reveal your soul. They're soul family. Those two know each other from previous lifetimes. And the other thing that was quite, in a way, quite funny really, was when I noticed the eyes yesterday and the similarity, and then I saw they were both number 6. Yes, I've seen the video where they do a song together. Is it The Way You Make Me Feel? Can't remember, but you know, it's the one time they did a song together, Britney and Michael. And obviously it's a bit of a sexy song. She's strutting around the stage. He's doing whatever he's doing. He's being a perfect gentleman. But there's this frisson, you know, in the air, because of course that's what the song's about. And I think it's on record that, you know, I get the feeling Michael was a little bit smitten by her. And I think I might have read that before, but that's the energy I'm also picking up here. But it's a really funny one because it's almost like, again, if you think they're soul family, they're a bit like brother and sister type energy. So it's almost like I sort of fancy you, but I shouldn't really be fancying you, but not really understanding why you shouldn't really be fancying the person. It's like that brother sister thing. It's like it's forbidden. It's just all very, it's all very innocent. But I do get the impression that Michael was quite smitten by her. I don't know about her. I'm not so sure about her. I can't speak for her. I know she admired him, but I definitely get there's like this brother sister vibe, which is like it would be almost like an incestuous thing if they had. Not that they did, but yeah. Anyway, right. Okay, what else do I want to say? Other similarities between them. I will just say this because, again, it's a bit of a wow moment. I mean, Britney was the child star, wasn't she? Age 8, as I say, she started with her training in terms of performing arts. Michael was aged, I think, between 6 and 8, something like that, when he started singing. There's just so many similarities between them. And then there's also this thing about the father, okay? I have done videos with Michael before where I think we looked at the relationship with his dad, or I know it's come up in passing. And again, it's no great secret out there that was a difficult relationship. So Britney certainly has a difficult relationship with her father. Okay. Yeah, last thing I want to say here, just because I've written it down. Again, this whole thing about purity and innocence, you know, and back to that question, which Britney would have been asked so many times about, you know, her sex life, or, you know, as I say, haven't asked you about your breasts. I mean, God, what a question for a guy who's old enough to be a father to ask. But it reminded me of that Diane Sawyer interview. Sorry, don't have a lot of time for Diane Sawyer in terms of how she treated Michael, or I've seen the way she treated Lisa Marie Presley as well, because again, she was the one who quizzed. I don't know if it was Lisa or it was Michael or both of them, but it was all very salacious. It was about like, have you had sex yet? It's like, it's nobody else's bloody business. I know I'm ranting here, but it's what I truly feel, because it's like what this case has brought up for me is like, it's like a lioness type energy. When you see purity and innocence defiled and mocked and trod upon, I'm sorry, I get passionate about that. I get passionate about that. Right, let's pull some cards. Let's also bring in Michael. Let's see what wants to be said. Okay. I'm going to go to Michael first. I'm spraying, people always ask, Rainbow Bridge, just helps me to connect to spirit. I just want to look at a picture of Michael whilst I'm channeling him. This is what I'm looking at, okay? He's showing me himself on a fairground ride, and oh God, it's a big circular one, and it's he's sitting in it with various other people. There are children in there, and he's got his black hat on, and he's laughing, and he's saying that the rides, the fairground rides, are still going on in heaven, whatever you want to call heaven, you know, the afterlife, the other dimension. He's saying the fun never stopped here. The rides, he says the rides are all free as well. I suspect they were free probably at Neverland as well, but he's saying the rides are all free. He says there's no queues. There's no... When he's saying there's no people, what he means is he's referring back to the times when he would like to have gone to place it like big fairgrounds, public ones, but wouldn't have been able to because of people gawking. So he's just showing this energy of fun and laughter and being on these rides. Okay, so it's one of these rides which has got like little, I don't know what they're called, you know, the little compartments. And so he's at the top and he's just coming back down now, and then he's going to get off the ride he's on and come forward to speak to us. Okay, right, he's got some child and he's just putting this child down on the ground, which had been sitting on his lap. The child's going off to somebody else who's caring for them, and he's walking towards us. I can just see this great big circular ride in the background, and he's got the black hat on, he's got a red shirt, he's got black trousers, and he's got a big smile on his face. And he's saying, "Hi, how are you?" "We're good, Michael, we're good. It's always nice to be in your company. How are you today?" "I'm doing well. I'm doing really well," he says. He says the ride that I'm showing you is also symbolic of things coming full circle. Okay, what do you mean by that? Okay, he's talking about, it's not quite the right language, but wrongs being righted. So he's referencing back to Britney here and the situation that's brought him here today to talk about her and to defend her. That what started in 2008 and set off a circular chain of events is coming back full circle. I'm not quite sure what he means by that. Oh, completion, he's saying completion. It's about to complete. He's saying that there are many in spirit that are with her and standing with her and encouraging her. And he's showing me himself, his energy, his soul, comforting her. And this, I'm being taken into her home. I'm just seeing one room. I'm not being shown the rest of it. There's a lot of privacy around her, which I totally respect. So I'm not seeing the whole of it. I'm just seeing like a snapshot of what looks a bit like a sitting room or living room, with a big couch in it. And it's where she sat for many weeks and months, he says. And he's showing me a big bowl of popcorn and the TV. And there's an energy of, with her, feeling, again, this is historical, bored, defeated. You know, like when you're sitting on a couch and you're just like eating popcorn and you're like staring at a screen, but you're not really watching what's on TV, but you're doing it anyway. It's like automatic pilot type energy, hand to mouth. He's also saying hand to mouth is relevant here as well. She's been living hand to mouth. It's like she's given just what she needs to get through the day, or what they think she needs, he's saying. And I'm just seeing her, and he's seen her sitting in this one place a lot of the time, also staring out of the window, very glazed expression on her eyes, probably through medication or something, but just sat. And he's saying that he's often sat with her. He's saying she doesn't seem to realise that he's with her, but he is. He says it's frustrating being a spirit sometimes. He's showing me knocking on a window, knocking on a window pane. I don't know whether he's tried to do that to get her attention or whether that's just something he does with other people. Did Peter Pan do that? Was that part of Peter Pan when somebody knocked on a window to come in? I don't know. I might be wrong there. But anyway, he's shown me knocking on a window pane and just wanting to sit beside her. And he said all he wanted to do is just sit beside her and hold her hand. And he showed me a big box of tissues with, the tissues coming out. And he's showing me times where she's been very upset and crying, and it's like he's handing her he's wanting to hand her the hanky. He's wanted to hand her the tissue. And he's saying there's many nights where we've got through a whole box. When he's saying we have got through a whole box, it's the fact that he has been sitting there with her, and wanting to try and dry her eyes, basically. He says she's got such pretty eyes. It's funny I mentioned their eyes. He says she's got such pretty eyes. He said there's something here about tapping this part of the eye. It's like trying to bring these eyes back to life, trying to bring the life back to the eyes, trying to wipe away the tears, trying to bring the eyes, trying to get her eyes to focus on, to keep her eyes focused on the goal, that the goal is achievable and the goal is freedom. The goal is new life. The goal is being released from the prison cell that she's found herself in. He says she's been living in a gilded cage, and he's saying that he resonates with it because although he didn't go through exactly the same thing, he often felt that he lived in a bit of a gilded cage in Neverland. Even though he enjoyed it, he was very aware that he was there behind gated gates, effectively. Because he couldn't go outside of it. He couldn't live a normal life. So even though he was happy enough in Neverland, and he made it so, he was very aware that there was another life outside of that place. But for different reasons, he couldn't go there. He's saying although she is hounded by the paparazzi, just as I was. I was shown, just coming out of Michael's energy for a moment here, I stumbled across a video last night whereby I think Britney's always, has many times come out and supported Michael, including in the Diane Sawyer interview where Diane asks her, so do you still believe in his innocence or something, or even despite the allegations, but she does it in a very curt, cold way. And Britney says something very sweet along the lines of, I choose to believe in his innocence. Anyway, the point is that video then carries on, and it's the day that Michael dies, and she's just getting out of her car, walking down the street, and she loved Michael. She loved him, and she loved his music, and he's literally just died that day. And she's got cameras in her face and people hounding her for, what's your reaction? Have you heard Michael's just died? And I think she's got sunglasses on or something. She doesn't say anything. And they're goading her and trying to get a reaction to her. It's just one example of many, of course. But do you want to say anything about the paparazzi, Michael, with regards to Britney and what she's going through now? Any guidance for her at this time? Okay, it's interesting. It's a bit of Princess Di energy coming in here as well, but it's almost like I haven't got Princess Di here right now. She's sort of hovering over there, but it's more Michael's moment. But I feel this is something that Michael and Diana would have probably shared. It's along the lines of, it's not quite if you can't beat them, join them, but it's sort of an energy a little bit like that, which is that they're not going to go away. I'm being shown that, all these photographers and reporters with, their cameras and microphones in your face. The reality is they're not going to go away. It's like flies. If you swat one away, there's going to be another one, there a minute later. So it's something along the lines of befriending or getting to know a few that are honourable and will treat you respectfully. And it's as though if you you look for them. So it's almost like if you're walking down the street or in a crowded room and you've got all of these photographers around you, it's like he's saying just look for that one that you know honours you and that truly will see you and will write respectfully. And that's the one you talk to. I mean, I'm sure it's hard to do that if you're travelling all over the place. But then again, we're all in pandemic, not travelling at the moment. So it may very well be it's the same group that are following her. So he's talking about there seems to be one or two people within that group who have better honour, he's saying, than the others. So give them the scoop, not anybody else. Okay, so something along those lines. He's trying to give sort of practical advice to her. Okay, so Michael, what would you like to say about Britney? Okay, let's just see what you want to say about Britney. Okay, he's doing this. He's showing me his side profile, and it's linked into people have turned a blind eye. He's saying people have turned a blind eye. People have literally been doing that. It's not even that it's not even that people have been burying their head in the sand, Michael says, with regard to Britney. It's that what has been happening to her has been in plain sight for years, and people have been choosing to just do that. He's saying society also needs to appreciate that they do this as well, in terms of he's bringing up a big can of worms here, Michael, because he's talking about essentially the way that people are treated in life, whether you're an entertainer. He's using the expression a performing monkey because he said that's what it feels like sometimes. It's the days of the performing monkey. It's like throw some money at it and then it will perform for you and do a dance or sing. And it's like, it doesn't matter how that monkey is treated, okay? So he's bringing in the energy of animals. And of course, Michael loved animals. He loved his monkeys as well, didn't he? Or chimpanzee, Bubbles, Bubbles, wasn't it? So he's bringing in that energy. It's like the performer is like this dancing monkey. And it's like, just throw some money at it and it'll be okay. And he's saying nobody ever thinks about the condition in which that animal is kept, because he's saying he often felt like a trapped animal, and he's saying she has felt like a trapped animal and still does. And he's saying you've got to allow this bird to be free, which is her, Britney. He's showing me her in this it's a beautiful gilded cage, but it's a cage. And she's like this singing bird, this beautiful bird with this high-pitched voice and this vibration that, I don't know which birds flutter their wings, but I'm being shown this bird that just flutters its wings and hovers and just wants to sing and get out there. And it's like, but he's now saying when the conservatorship ends, it's like the door will be open, but she's also going to be nervous to actually come out. It's almost like... these aren't Michael's words, these are my words now. It's almost like Stockholm syndrome, is it called? Whereby, you've been kept under for so long and you've been controlled for so long, you're then given the keys to freedom and you don't quite know what to do with it. There's a very twisted energy here with her father. I'm just going to pull some cards on her father at this point. I'm going to come back to Michael, but I just want to pull some cards on her father. Michael's eyes. I mean, I'm just looking at his eyes here in this photograph. As soon as I said I want to look at her father, can you see his eyes? Michael had beautiful eyes, full of love and warmth. And right now I'm seeing they've gone as close to cold as his eyes go, because he's still got that beautiful heart. But it's like he's saying, no, this has to be said. This has to be said. I tell you what it is. It's almost like blind fury. I know this is a video still from Earth Song. Michael was passionate about the environment and what we were doing to Mother Earth. So there's almost a look here in his eyes of fury, in terms of that. But I'm looking at his eyes now in relation to Britney and her father, and he's very indignant. He's angry about how women are treated. I'm sure I've said this before, he has this energy where he put women on a pedestal, And Britney was on a pedestal, but Britney was up there, and it's like she's a queen, you know, and it's like, how dare she have been treated like this, and by her father of all people. And yeah, by her father of all people, bottom of the pile, the King of Swords. That's the father. The King of Swords is ruthless, okay? And it's also got the Magician next to it, okay? That's a very powerful combination, the King of Swords and the Magician, because the King of Swords is ruthless. He uses his sword to get what he wants, to get his way. That's a blinking big sword that guy's got, okay? And he has the power. The Magician has the power to, for his truth to be the only truth that is heard. His truth. What about Britney's truth? Okay, it's his truth. I'm feeling like there's a very proud man here. It's a weird one. Proud. It's weird. It's weird. It's really dysfunctional. Proud of his daughter on one hand, but this is all very twisted, and you will do as I say, is what I'm hearing. You will do as I say. You are under my control. Remember what I said at the start of this video? It's like, I own you. You will do as I say, and I'm the Magician, and I will make it happen. I'm looking at Michael now, and I'm seeing similar parallels with his father. Michael came from a loving family, but his father could be ruthless. What do you want to say, Michael? Michael's saying respect has to be earned. And there is a generation of men as fathers who believed that they should just be respected because they were the father. They're the head of the family. You respect your father. But Michael's saying respect has to be earned. And he's leaving it at that. Sometimes what you don't say speaks volumes. Michael's always respectful of his family and those still alive. And I want to say something at this point, because this was given to me yesterday by Michael as well. Let me just put it into his words. Right, can you just what we were talking about yesterday, Michael, about the father and about advice for Britney, please? Okay, right. He's saying, remember who you are, Britney. Remember where you came from. Remember where we came from. He's saying we come from a planet of purity. We come from a planet of innocence. We come from a planet where we believe in love. We come from a planet where we believe in forgiveness. We are very high vibrational. He's encouraging her to... It's a big ask, Michael. He says, I know it is. To forgive. To forgive him. It's in relation. He's not judging how she feels at the moment, by the way. He completely understands how she feels at the moment. He understands her fury. If you've listened to her testimony from the conservatorship trial, she talks about wanting to sue her family. Effectively, it's about wanting to take vengeance on what they've done to her. And Michael can understand that. I think many of us can understand that. Many of us would feel the same. But Michael is reminding Britney as a soul sister that she has it within herself, once free, to be able to forgive. He's saying forgiving is about setting yourself free, not necessarily the other person. He's saying people have it the wrong way around. Forgiveness frees you. He's reminding Britney that forgiveness will free her, so that she can, once the conservatorship ends, she can either choose to stay, she can still stay imprisoned if she doesn't remember what she's capable of, which is forgiveness, and she can demonstrate that. I'm just looking at my mug here, which has got a butterfly on it, sideways on, which is Michael, against the sign Michael gives. You see, also interesting, it's next. He's showing me this butterfly. My attention's been drawn to this butterfly. This is a gift my girls gave to me. It's obviously mum. He's saying, you're a mum, Britney. You're a mum. Remember that how you behave is how your children will behave. you have to demonstrate a better way of being. He's saying you haven't been shown the love that you should have been shown. You haven't been shown the care that you should have been shown. You haven't been shown the parenting that you should have been shown. You haven't been able to even parent your children some of the time because you haven't been allowed. He's saying, but as you find your wings, he's saying, try to aspire to the highest ideals that you can to show your children what their mum is capable of. Not just in terms of breaking free, but in terms of being able to demonstrate the highest principles upon which our land is based. And when he says our land is based, he's talking about a different place that I'm not even sure where it is. I'm not even sure where it is. I channeled years ago that I felt Michael Jackson's a bit like a time traveller energy. And I didn't feel like he'd had many incarnations, if any incarnations here on Earth before. In fact, I think I said I didn't think he'd ever had one. What was interesting, though, was yesterday I was just clearing out my crystal bowl and cleansing them all. And this lapis lazuli was screaming at me, linked into Michael. Now, lapis lazuli is linked into the third eye. Okay, it helps us to have clear vision. But it wasn't that. As soon as I saw it and I was linking it to Michael and Britney, I heard one word. And the word was Egypt. I think there was some sort of, I don't even know if it was a lifetime. I think their energy has hovered around ancient Egypt. I'm talking ancient Egypt. I know Michael did the video, Remember the Time with the Pharaoh, with Eddie Murphy and Iman. Again, you know, wife of David Bowie. Bowie is another Heart Squad member. So there was a reference to Egypt in that video. I don't know whether Britney has ever referenced ancient Egypt in any of her work, but I'm feeling somehow, again, Michael and Britney have a link to ancient Egypt. What do you want to say about that, Michael? Is this correct? Tell me about ancient Egypt, you and Britney. Who was the Queen of Sheba? Let me just look this up. I'm hearing the Queen of Sheba. Queen of Sheba. Well, she's a figure mentioned in the Hebrew Bible. In the original story, she brings a caravan of valuable gifts for the Israelite King Solomon. Okay. It's become the subject of one of the most widespread and fertile cycles of legends in the Middle East. King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Really? He's like, when he says I'm playing with you, he's not disputing what I've just said. He's not going to go any further. It's really interesting. At this moment, Michael's energy, it's almost like I've got the energy of Prince coming in as well. Prince does this thing where his energy is I can only describe it. It goes a bit twirly and a bit, it's like this vortex type energy. Michael's usually just quite, it's Michael. Something I've tapped into here with Egypt and King Solomon and Queen Sheba and Michael and Britney, which is just, it's a different dimensional energy. I'm not quite sure. And also I'm going off topic, so I might leave that one for another day. Interesting. There's definitely an Egyptian thing with these two though. Right, what were we doing? We were talking about Britney's father, weren't we? Okay, so Michael said a bit about that. Let's just pull a couple of other cards here from this deck. What are we asking? It's like Michael is wanting to talk for her. He's wanting to speak up for her. Okay, show me her current state of being, please, Michael, by these cards. Just want to use the cards because they're also quite nice visual cues for you to look at as well. You might get different things from what I'm seeing and sensing as well. So, Michael, show me the current energy with Britney, please. That's really weird. Okay, you know, I was just talking about the the Queen of Sheba and the caravan. What did I just say? The Queen of... In the original story, she brings a caravan of valuable gifts for King Solomon. Look at the card that's just come out. It's two people in a caravan. I mean, it's a gypsy caravan. It's with the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. It hasn't answered what I was just asking. I think this is Michael. I think again he's showing as a knight. That's twice he's shown as a knight, not a king. I don't know why he's showing as a knight, not a king. I think it's more to do with his view of women. He's just got a very high opinion of this lady. But the Four of Wands, it's like they are... These two are a duo in terms of trying to smash this template of control. And it seems to link into patriarchal control as well. And they go way back, these two, way back. Way back. Okay, I'm going to try and ask the question again now, because I think that was just confirming what I was just channeling through about Egypt. Do I need a different deck? No, stay with this deck, okay. Michael, show me how Britney is at this moment in time, please. Michael, show me how Britney is at this moment in time, please. The Moon. She's born on the 2nd, wasn't she? Yeah, she's born on the 2nd of December. Number 2 is the Moon in terms of colour numerology and planets. Moon is all about feelings, okay? She's feeling very emotional. Obviously she is. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? And we've got the Five of Pentacles because she's locked out of she's locked out of herself is what I'm wanting to say. It's like she can't, and she wants to move on. Six of Swords. She wants to move out of this bloody prison cell that they've put her in, okay? I mean, it's clear as day. She wants to move on from it. And the star is in the sky. It feels as though this is her best moment. This is her best moment for decades to be able to do this. Is it going to be successful this time round? I know it has. I know it's been declined. Her appeal, that it was declined, but I don't know whether there's another appeal or something. But anyway, I'm feeling that the game's not over. So is the conservatorship going to be lifted soon? Yes, I think so. Those two have just fallen out of the deck. The Page of Swords, which is the card of truth, and the Nine of Cups, which is the Wish card. What's on the bottom of the deck? The King of Pentacles. I need to just clarify that, because the King of Pentacles could be her dad. Why have we got the King of Pentacles? Is her conservatorship going to be lifted? Is her conservatorship going to be lifted? Why have we got the King of Pentacles? Why have we got the King? Is her conservatorship going to be lifted? Why have we got the King of Pentacles? The Two of Cups. I think so. And Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck with Ten of Pentacles. I think so. Because this would be almost like a return to happier times, the past, when she was free. I mean, even if she wasn't happy, but you know, it's a return to innocence. I keep channeling that song all the time at the moment. Enigma, a return to innocence. There she is on the swing. Childhood. I think so. I'm going to use another deck. From these cards, I would say, yes, it is going to end. You see, Page of Swords, look at that, the butterfly. She's the butterfly. Sword of Truth. Nine of Cups is the wish. King of Pentacles came with the Two of Cups. Six of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is grounded, happy ever after, everything that you need. Show me her father's reaction if her conservatorship gets lifted. Show me her father's reaction if her conservatorship gets lifted. Show me her father's reaction if her conservatorship gets lifted. Sorry, but you know, about time. These are on the bottom of the deck. Three of Swords. Oh, sorry, you know, but come on, look who's in prison now. I mean, actually, look who is in prison now. I don't know whether that is actually physical prison. Probably, I don't know. I'm not even going to say whether I think that. I don't know. Wow. Whereas once she was the caged animal, she's the one in prison at the moment, praying for a way out. Look what happens to the father in the future. Three of Swords, it's the ending. He's now the one that's trapped because he trapped her. Lovers is the card of choice. Prison. But I mean, this card does actually show prison, but Nine of Swords is also just, oh my God, mental anguish. What have I done? This is a moment of reckoning for him. If he's, you know, if he's got a heart there. I'm sorry, any father that was behaving like that over the last 10 plus years is questionable in my book. You see, the thing is, even if she does have mental health issues, and I'm not saying I do think she does, but even if she did, you know, how many other people on this planet have those problems? You know, how many other artists have problems? How many of them have their rights taken away? Have their, you know, the rights to privacy taken away? The right over their own body taken away? Nobody. This is a huge case. Once this falls, the dominoes are going to fall. I think it's end game for the father personally, because I can see what he tries to do is, again, he tries to come back in via some new, I don't know, opportunity or deal. He might tempt her back in with, okay, let's just put it all under the water under the bridge, Britney. You know, I'm a changed man. I've come up with a new idea. Ace of Pentacles, a new idea. Here's a new offer for you. Here's more money for you. But it's a very defensive position, and it ends with the Ten of Swords. No. Ten of Swords is ending. Three of Swords is ending. So but again, coming back to Michael's energy, forgiveness is required. Right. Anything else I want to say? I want to speak a little bit more to Michael in a moment, but I think with Britney, is there anything else to say? Let's just pull a Goddess card for Britney. Goddess Power card for Britney. Britney Spears. You see, the name Britney Spears. Britney Spears. Look at all these spears in the back. Look at all these spears that have been trapping her, imprisoning her. Look at the spears. Look at the spears. Look at the spears. She's not about spears. She's not about daggers. She's this. Why has she always kept her father's name? She's been married, hasn't she? Let me just look this up. Yeah, she's been married. So why, do you know, if she was my client, I'd be encouraging her to change her name, which I know would be I think it could be a good thing. I think it's almost like the old Britney Spears when I say she needs a new identity, it would be, it could be helpful for her to tweak her name a little bit. If I'm right, that's her family name. I think it is her family name, isn't it? Spears. I know she's been married, but she's still got the father's name. That'll be her choice, whether she wants to do anything with that. Okay, let's pull a goddess card. Britney Spears. I'm now just seeing their soul energy, father and daughter. And it's like the father who in this lifetime so far has had all the control, all the money, all the power, you know, just like this big energy, controlling energy. I'm now seeing the daughter's energy, which is Britney. Soul level is so much bigger than the father's. It's just she needs to be the one that stands up and, you know, look at that, look at that. She's got this card, the card of mastery. Wow. She's got the mastery card. Card 45, let's see what it says. This is her energy. The goddess Sarasti, sorry, I know I've pronounced it wrong, reminds you that there are no shortcuts on this journey. The path of mastery is a long one, okay? And partial knowledge does not make you a master. Stick with it, keep learning, keep practicing your craft, your heart commitment, your meditation, your self-expression. Stay present to it all and you'll be glad you did. Yeah, I mean, the path of the master is a long one. Mastery is a genuine sense of effortless knowledge after a period of dedicated immersion. The Hindu goddess Sarasti asks you to enter her domain of art, language, knowledge, music and poetry and make this commitment to go the distance. Immerse yourself, body, mind and soul, in discovering all aspects of what is at hand. Learn and then learn more. Britney Spears is as far removed from that little girl, you know, locked up, as you can imagine. She's a powerful warrior of light. She's going to show what she's made of. To be honest, she already has. That testimony last week was extraordinary. And, you know, if you haven't pricked up your ears and listened to it, do. We just need to keep her safe. This is the thing. We need to keep her safe. Michael, anything to say on her safety? Ten of Cups. It's a good card. He's showing me a tunnel of light. What he means by this is not that she's going to the light. I'm not saying that. What I'm being shown is those of you that really love her, support her, her mega fans, whatever, it's almost like when she gets her freedom, whether that's this month, whether it's next year, hope to God it's not that long, but it doesn't feel that far off. Wherever she goes, imagine that she's in this beautiful tunnel of light, which goes before her and behind her and surrounds her. So it's like she's just surrounded by light the whole time. And the light is high vibrational. It has strength. It has obviously protection. It's just like nothing can touch her. Just imagine her always with light around her is what he's trying to say. Okay. Right, let me just have some water and then I just want to see where I want to go on this video. Is there anything else I need to say? I want to end with just having a little chat with Michael about a few other bits. Okay. Now, I want to just talk to Michael now. Let's put these cards away, Britney's cards. Okay, Michael. Just a few other bits now, just about you. Let's have a chat. We haven't had a chat for a while. Always makes me smile when I'm in Michael's company. Okay. I'm going to spray a bit of Rainbow Bridge and a bit of Earth Elemental, which always links me to Michael. Jackson. Oh, well, it's like he doesn't really want to get off this subject of Britney. He's now showing me he's in court. He's in court. I think he's in court with her. He was in court with her when she was testifying, he's saying. Okay. But I also feel this is like he's going to be in court again with her. Because he knows the courtroom, Michael, unfortunately, he says. Unfortunately, I know my way around the courtroom, he's saying. He says, I learnt a few tricks. And what he means by that is he knows the way it works. He knows how people can twist things. And he knows how important it is to keep your head held up high, he's saying. So he's going to carry on being with her through any court battles that she has now or in the future. He says, I'm always going to be by her side. Okay, it's really beautiful. Okay. He's taking me into other courtrooms, though. He's taking me into other courtrooms. These just feel like regular people, you know, up and down different countries, fighting for truth, fighting for justice, fighting for children. He's also taking me into family arguments, family, what's it called when, you know, there's a divorce or something or separation and there's, you know, it's about who's going to have the child, that type of thing. He's in the court, he's in those type of courts as well. He's trying to help with that. He's saying you can turn to me, anybody who's having trouble fighting for their child. He's talking about fighting for your child in terms of education or within the schooling system, but equally, literally fighting for your children. So he's showing me here, he's showing me refugees, fighting for a better life for your child. That's one end of the extreme. But he's also showing me like domestic situations where children are being fought over. You know, it's like they will live with me, or, you know, you can't have access to them, you can't see them. And he's saying, please remember that it's the children that always get hurt in those circumstances. You winning one over on your ex-husband or ex-wife is actually damaging your child. And please put the child's needs first, Michael's saying. Please put the child's needs first. It's not about you, it's about the child. It's about what's best for the child. He's saying you need to be adult about it. Feels like I'm speaking to a few specific people here. You need to be adult about it. You need to put the child's needs first. He's saying I also try and sometimes whisper in the ear of the judge. He's saying, but they don't always listen. It's like he's around the courtroom. He's around the courtroom a lot. I don't know whether he ever had an interest in learning law or whether it was just because of what he went through in his life that he had to get to grips with the legal process. He's shown me Tom Mesereau. Okay, I've looked and I sort of wish I hadn't because I don't want to get into this in this video, okay? I haven't got time, but there's something linked into Bill Cosby, who's just been freed from prison. So maybe that's a subject for another video. Maybe that's why I'm talking about Tom. I don't know. I'm not going to go there in this video. But anyway, certainly Michael's just saying the guy's got a powerful brain. I'm being drawn to Michael's forehead here. They say that having a high forehead is a sign of intelligence. So anyway, right, what else? Michael, let's get back to basics here. Let's keep it to the topics of this video if we can. He's saying sure. He's saying, yeah, I went off script there. Okay, right. Michael, I'm going to pull a card. Because that... Ooh, isn't that interesting? You just saw what I've just done? I've just smashed this smoky quartz crystal into the orange candle and it's gone out. What is going on? What is going on? Let me relight the candle. Something symbolic in that. Smoky quartz is the energy which helps clear toxicity, negative energy. Orange is the colour of shock. Oh, okay. Right, I don't know what's just... That's... Okay, that was all something linking in here to clearing out the shock and trauma with smoky quartz and the colour orange. Maybe that's just what I need to say at this point. Working with orange energy, which is the colour of Metatron, and smoky quartz together help to clear out these templates that I was talking about at the start, these vows where the energy of somebody owning us or doing somebody else's bidding lies. So I will just say, as it's happened, you could see that was rather organic, the way that all developed. Flame attunement spray, which is orange, which is Archangel Metatron. He's the guide that I work with, and smoky quartz together is a powerful combination. All right. Right, Michael, I'm going to go to another deck here, and I'm just going to pull 2 cards from this. Let's just see anything else you want to say. Okay. It's about 10 just flew out there. I won't take all of those. Let's have 2. 2 cards, Michael. Okay, right, all right. What have we got? We've got Temperance and the 9 of Swords. Temperance is the card of healing. 9 of Swords is the card of mental anguish, worry, stress. So we're being asked to be patient. Also to realise that healing is on its way. I think that's what this was all about just now. Michael's wanting to put the attention back onto you and your own healing journey. And that with patience, with time, that any mental struggles or anguish or stress that you may be suffering at this moment can be eased. Okay. Have you got a message for your fans here with regards to that? He's saying yes. He says, he's talking about the state of the world at the moment, the energies that we've all been living under, the uncertainty, the difficulty, linked into pandemic as well, and to hold strong, to maintain your light, to be there for each other, to keep having fun, to keep smiling. He keeps coming back to be there for each other. Healing is coming. Temperance. Okay, I think I'm going to end by congratulating Michael on 1 billion views for Billie Jean. My goodness, that is impressive, Michael. It's gone over 1 billion now. Happened a few weeks ago, I think. Yeah, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean has gone over 1 billion views on YouTube. So he's joined the club of people who are in that billion view club. And I have to say, I had a little look through at who the others were. And I couldn't see hardly anybody that is in the billion view club who's dead rather. Okay, so I saw Whitney Houston is there. I Will Always Love You is billion views. Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, most of the other songs there, they're all more recent songs. And there was quite a bit of Justin Bieber. I'm a big Bieber fan. Bit of Ed Sheeran. Baby Shark was number 2. Despacito was number 1. But yeah, I was just so thrilled that it got to 1 billion. So what would you like to say for the 1 billion views for Billie Jean? Thank you, he says. Thank you so much. Did you ever think that would happen? No, he says, no. He says, but I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted. He's just got this big smile on his face. He's saying, what about Thriller? He's proud of Thriller. He's proud of all his songs, but I think the next one is Thriller, he's saying. Get Thriller up there. That's a little playful request to the fans. But no, he's very grateful. He's on good form today. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there because I'm getting a little bit tired now as well with the connection. It's quite draining. Not because it's draining to be in their company, just because the vibration is so high. It's quite tiring to hold it. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, like the video so other people can see it. Take care of yourselves Let's hold the light for Britney. Let's actually light a new candle for her. And remember, she's got lots of friends in spirit, and one of her biggest cheerleaders is Michael. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.